All right. Okay, so last week we looked at certain psychological levels. I'm not sure exactly where each and every one of you
Hello,
are.
Mr. Michael, please, we can't hear you.
Oh, you can hear me. Oh, sorry. Hello, can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes.
Hello? Hello? Can you all hear me now?
Yes,
please. Thanks.
Okay, somebody said it can hear me. Okay, fine. So last week we looked at certain psychological levels, and then we did some kind of back testing here and there. I believe we looked at Bitcoin and we looked at ADA. I'm going to give you some other psychological levels briefly, and then these psychological levels you can just bring up the coins on your trading view and then just put them on it. Right. So there's this coin that we call Theta or something like that, THETA. And then I'm going to show you how I've done my psychological levels so you can do them the same way. So for example, I have done two psychological levels. We call one psychological level 1 and psychological level 2. And there's a reason why I've done that. I would explain that to you in due time. So for example, psychological level 1, we have the following. We have 1.0. So if you can, we are recording the screen, so I think you can watch that later and create your thing. 1.0, we've got, let me admit these people. We've got 1.0, we've got 1.15, 1.3, 1.45, and so on. So the interval, as you can see, is 0.15, 0.15 you add, and that would be on the psychological level 1, which is the main psychological levels. The second bit is, who said they're waiting? 1 minute, someone said they're waiting on the, I think everyone is in there. There's no one that I've not listed. Everyone is in there. Okay. So the second level, which is the sub-psychological level, is the psychological level 2, which is the one I've just opened. And that is really the intermediary between the 1.1. So this should come all the way. I think it should be somewhere there. So it should be, let me do the calculation well. Wait a minute, 0.15 divided by 2.75. Yeah, so this should be 0.75. Okay, so psychological level 2. So I've created a folder for 1 and I've created a folder for 2. The 2, we have 1.075, and then you see 1.225, 1.375. So it is the sub-psychological level. So I can turn on the psychological level 2 only, and I can turn on the psychological level 1 only, you see, and I can turn both of them on as well. So this is for the coin called Theta. So you can go ahead and create it. And then once you've created the psychological level, you can test it on the 4-2 strategy that we said. Like you can actually see that this is a tweezer top, and then we went down here. We made this thing. This is a tweezer bottom. We went up here. You measure 2%. This is a bullish engulfment, so we'll go on this trade. It's all over. You can just see it all over. This is this thing, tweezer bottom, which crosses here. So literally, what we could do with this one is that we can turn off the psychological level 1, and then you can see very clearly. You tweezer bottom, and then it takes you up. If you don't get a 2% here, you definitely get on this one. And then this one is a evening star. You get it here. So you just go do the psychological levels for this one, and then see how the the criteria is based on the strategy that we use. We are still planning on how we could meet in person, especially those of you in London. So when the dates do come out, we'll let you know. So then I can actually see what you're doing. I need to see, because I'm not sure people want to share their screen, because if anyone could have shared their screen, it would be a very good thing. Then we could see what they are really doing, and we could see the progress of what they are doing. Okay. Now let me see if I can also give another psychological level for another coin. Then we can move on to the indicators that I want to expose to you. Let's look at this other coin called AVAX. AVAX. Also, we have psychological levels for them. Psychological level 1 and 2. So if we turn off the 2, you can see the psychological level 1. We start from 13, that's 13.00, 15.00, 17.00, just like that. So you can see that it is +2, +2, +2, +2. And then when it comes to the psychological level 2, which I'm switching on now, it is, you see 14, 16, 18, 20. So that is +1 from the original. So it just, this +1 will give you the sub. +2 would have given you the main again, and then the sub, just like that. So you can also use that to find the strategy and see if it works. So you can literally turn off one and then work on the other. Or whenever you see one forming on the other, you just turn off the other and then use that to gauge. So for example, we have this morning star here. You can then go in and go and see if we're able to achieve the 2%. So you can do that and then take your spreadsheet and then go through your spreadsheet and then fill them all in. What I discovered was that I wanted us to do, when it comes to the back testing that we're doing in the spreadsheet, we're going to do 100 for each coin. So I'm going to share my spreadsheet with you. I'm just doing a test, a different test altogether for another strategy. But I'll show you exactly what I am doing. So then possibly can give you an idea how you could do yours. And then we'll move on to the next strategy, the next thing I'm going to teach you yourselves. So I'm going to share my spreadsheet now. This is a different spreadsheet, but I want to give you an idea. So what it is I'm doing a test, but this is a different test altogether about testing on a different strategy. And so I decided that rather than starting from the number 1 down, which means I have to go back all the way on my charts to go and find something from the past, I actually started it from the current position. So I went to the number 100 and took the current position, and I'm working my way back to see, so that when I get to number 1, it will be somewhere in the past. And then I stop there. I've done 100, and based on that, I'm able to use that information to determine the efficacy of the strategy. You see, so that is what I'm doing. You can start from number 100. If you started from 1 already, it's no problem. But if you are trying to test a new coin, like the coins that I've just given the psychological levels, you could just start from 100. And then meaning that what you would do is, if you're starting from 100, it's as simple as clicking the current date. So for example, number 100 would be possibly, let's say this one. So that you entered on this. So when you entered on this, let's put a thing there, a vertical line there. I'm sorry. Oh. All right, let's put a vertical line there. It tells you the date. The date is the 27th of June, 2017. All right. So now that it tells you the date, 27th of June, 2017, what you then will do is you write a date and then you write a time, but that's going to be number 100. And then you tell yourself what kind of stick pattern did you see? It was an evening star, which is this 3. And then you didn't meet the criteria, so you go in and you measure. We get a 2%. We got the 2% on the trend line, you know, and so then we got a 2%, and then you tell 2%, yeah, whatever, and then you go back. The next one will be this candlestick, because we have this thing, a tweezer bottom here. So the date, which will be the number 99, will be this day, the 20, still the 27th, but in the morning, 05:00. And then what candlestick pattern did we see before? We saw a tweezer bottom. And then the question is, did we meet our 2% concept? Yes, we met it. It's more than 2%. And then we go. So you can work back from 100 all the way up. I hope that makes sense. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce you to something new, something it's not new, but I'm introducing you to two indicators. These two indicators, we will be using them very soon for the next strategy, right? But to be honest, I would rather you master this strategy that we are learning. The two, it is brilliant. With that, you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. It's basic, it's simple, but it is brilliant. You know what I mean? Because you can see it's littered. The conditions are littered all around. You know what I mean? You see the condition, it's just all littered all around. Like for example, this one, you probably it's on a psychological level. So if you see something like that, because it's on a psychological level, it will resist. So you don't go into such a trade. You wait till something like this. Maybe something like this will come up. Even with this, you could have gone in on that market and possibly you would have made something small. If you even lost that trade, no problem. You lose the trades. There are trades that you are going to lose. But the thing is, once you've done the test, you will know that there are trades that it's not all trades that you can lose. It also gives you an idea of the percentage wins that you can make on those on the trades. You see. So what I'm going to say now is I'm going to introduce you to two new indicators. One of these indicators, we call it. Let me just clear the psychological levels. And then let me clear this vertical line. Hi, this one. Yeah. One of the indicators, let me clean my chart. Oh, you know what? Let me find some live Bitcoin. All right. The first indicator that I want to introduce to you, we call it the TDI. TDI means Traders Dynamic Index, TDI. When you go to TradingView to find TDI, I'll show you how you find it. So you go into TradingView. So you go to indicators and then you go to TDI, right? So TDI, you see what we call the Traders Dynamic Index. That's gold mines. This is the indicator you want to find. And this, when you open it, this is the way it looks like, right? Now, when you go into this indicator, what this indicator does is it tells you the direction of the market. It tells you the direction of the market. So we have what we call the bands, the blue lines that you see here. I'll go in and edit it very well. And then you see, hold on a minute. The blue lines that you see, the blue. So when you go into settings, it brings up all the settings that you have. So let me, okay. To go into setting, you go into the setting key. So the indicator, click. Now you can see upper band and lower band, right? That normally it tells you the borders within which if the indicator goes above, we are expected for the indicator to come back in, which means when something goes outside those bands, we expect it to come back into the bands, which means it tells you that we've gone out of direction and we need to refocus into direction. But for this strategy, we don't even use the upper band and the lower band. But I'm just showing you how you can edit it. Now we're just only showing how to edit this indicator ready for our future strategy. Okay, now we have, so the upper band and the lower band, we take it off, right? The middle band, we also take that one off, all right? So what we are left with is the slow MA, the fast MA, the levels, and then the background, the plots background, we take that off. Yeah, and then we take the labels off. So literally what you see is slow MA, fast MA, and the levels. Okay. Now, when we go into the inputs, we change the inputs to, let me find it. I believe it's going to be 5, 11, and 1, 7. So when we go into the input, so I'm going back to settings. In the input, we change it to 5, 11, 1, and then 7. Okay, right. So it's going to be 5, 11, 1, and 7. Now, the next thing we will do is we change the colors. So the slow MA, we're going to change the color to a yellow. And we'll pick the thinnest line, the thickest color. And then the fast MA, we're going to change it to a green. Thinnest line, thickest color. Yeah, that's all. So that is all I want you to learn. And once you've done this, going back to settings, once you've done this in the settings, go to the default and then save as default. And then you okay it. All right. So that's it. That's the indicator I want to show you. This, I'll tell you the details when it comes to the next strategy, right? As of now, we're doing lots of testing on the next strategy, and then that will help, you know what I mean, these are the ones that helps, these indicators help us to do that strategy very, very effectively. I will not introduce the strategy just yet, but when it gets there, we will see. I will just show you exactly how we use the strategy and how it works. So for now, just learn how to get a TDI. The name of the indicator is called a TDI. And then when you pick the TDI, you need to edit it by going into the settings. You take off the upper band, everything, leave the slow band, leave the fast band, leave the levels, take off the plots backgrounds, take them off, the labels, take them off. And then you go into input and then make the RSI 5, band length 11, fast MA 1, slow MA 7. And then you save it as default, save as default, and that's okay. So then once you save as default, one of the things you could also do is when you go and pick the indicator, you can either personalize the indicator, but when it gets there, I'll show you how to personalize the indicator. I can actually show you now. When you want to personalize an indicator, you see this thing, the thing we say source code. Source code, you can go into this source code and you click on source code. When you click on source code, you get something like the coding here, but that is not what you're looking for. You're looking for the 3 dots at the top, right? When you see the 3 dots, you go to make a copy. When you go to make a copy, it brings up the name of the indicator so you can personalize it. And let's say TDI, and then you can put maybe your initials at the back, something like MH, V1, V2, or something like that. And then you save it. Once you've saved it, you go and you click on this minus over here, minus. And then now you can go into your indicators and then you go into my scripts. When you go into my scripts, the one you saved, the copy that you've saved should be there. So TDI V2, then you get it coming up. I think I should have saved it before amending it. So we are going to start the whole process again. And then I'm going to show you how to save it before you do the changes. All right, so let me just close everything up. Close this. I'm going to close that as well. And then we'll start quickly again. So we are looking for the TDI. We're going to TDI. First, we just put it here and then we say TDI. And then it comes, the Traders Dynamic Index, the gold mines. Now, when we get the Traders Dynamic Index, the gold mines, normally, because I've saved it as default, this is what I see. But normally, you wouldn't see it this way. You would see it, I think it looks like this middle band is normally orange. Okay, you know, let me close and go and get it from here. I'm going close and get it from here, the way it looks originally, then you can see. So my scripts. Okay, this is how it looks originally. when you see it that way. And then when you see it this way, what you have to do is go into this bit where you have the coding, right? And then when you click on the coding, now go into the dots at the end, click it, and then you make a copy script. So once you've made a copy script, you click on it, you change it the name, and this one tells me copy. I'm just gonna save it over the one I have already. Save, yes, save over it. And then I minus this to close the coding. Now I would come here, go into settings, and then remove the upper band, remove the lower band, remove the middle band, leave the slow MA, leave the fast MA, leave the levels, these three levels, leave them. Remove the plot background, remove the other plot background, remove the labels, remove the labels. Now you go into inputs. Inputs, we are talking about, we said it was, I forgot the codes. Let me just go find it again. 51117. So, God, what's this? You go in again, and then it should be 511 1 and 7. Okay, and then okay. The other thing you need to do is to change the colors. So go in here, that slow MA, click on the color. We want the slow MA to be yellow, and then select the thinnest of the lines, and then move the color to the end, 100% brightness. And then you click somewhere else. The fast MA should be green, as we said. Select the thinnest, move it to the brightest color, and then save as default. Okay, once you've saved as default, you can go and pick this up in your indicators, my scripts, and then you pick it up, press 3. So it's come up the way you want it to look. You know, so this is normally sitting on your account as my script. So anytime you need it, go into my script and then you get it. So this is exactly, it is called a TDI. Now, the other indicator that I want to show you guys is called it's a momentum indicator. So, but we call it trend waves. It's a momentum indicator we call trend waves. I'm showing you where it is so that you can pull it up and then get it ready for our next strategy. But I'm not going to be teaching the next strategy until I've met the London people and then gone through and see whatever they're doing. Because if they've not gotten the basics right, I believe they will have challenges with the next strategy. So we need to meet and know where exactly they are and then how they could possibly progress from there. Once that cross-section of the group is okay, we can, those in Ghana, I can organize for someone to meet them up, but it will be Accra. So then we can organize that as well, and then we see what to do. I'm not sure if that could be recorded, but because it's going to be like one-on-one type of thing. And if anyone watches the videos closely, you should be able to get all the information. But just that, I just want to be sure that they've really locked it down. Okay. So now the next indicator that I want to show you, we call it wave trend. Wave trend with crossing. This one, wave trend with crosses. This one is called the lazy bear. The lazy bear Lone Star 108. This is a wave trend with crossing. Oh God, why? Okay, so when you click on it, this is how it looks. Wave trend with crossing. When you get it like that, I want you to also go and put it in your script. So go into wave trend with crossing, go to where the coding is, click on this coding, right? And then what you have to do is go to the 3 dots to the right, click on it, and then make a copy. So you can call it WT whatever, C or whatever, and then you do it, your initials, and then let's say this too for me, and then you save it. Okay, so when you save it, minus, press the minus here. Yeah, you can see where my cursor is. Press minus to close it. And now close the indicator altogether. Close it. Go back into indicators, go to my scripts, and then you can see the WTC, you can see the one you just created, and then pick it up. When you pick it up, now I want you to do the following changes, okay? And it's gonna be just a simple, a very, very simple change. Now go back into the coding, scroll down. Let me expand this so you can see it. Right, when you go into the coding, you can see here at this place, it says WT2 equals to SMA into bracket WT1, comma 4. That 4, change it to 3. This 4, this number 4, change it to 3. Okay. Once you've changed it into 3, go up here and save it. Okay. Once you've saved it, go to the minus, click it to close it. Now, after you've closed it, go into settings. Yeah. When you go into settings, I want you to do the following. Okay. I think plot area, I want to check what exactly I want to do. Yeah. 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 I want this on. Yeah. And so let's see what I want on. Okay. And then bar color. All right. So what I want you to do, as you can see, I've taken the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, the plot A, I've taken them all off. I've left this 2, and I've taken that one off as well, left these 2, and then taken this one off, taken off the labels. So we have this, that, this, and that. Okay. Now, what I want you to do is this plot area, right? We will change it eventually, but I want you to just open it this way. This plot area, click on the line and then make it an area, okay? And then change the color into something like a light blue, okay? Light blue like that. Or some light blue like that. Okay, then you come out. Go to the plot, this next plot area, and then change it into wave area, and then change the color into a deeper blue, right? So we have a light blue or a deeper blue like this, yes. So this is what I want you to do. And then you save it. Let me go into the other one and see if I can get a better blue. Or even let's put it to the top and save it. That's fine. So it looks more like a very light blue or some kind of whitish in a way. And then you save it, right? When you've done that, go to the dots. Yeah, this plot area is just a dot. Go to this one and then select, it tells you black, but select green for that. I think it should be green. And then select the thickest dot here. So color green, it could be any green of your choice. Select the thickest dot and then go to the next dot, which is this one. It is red, which is okay. And then let it go to the thickest dot, right? And then come out and then save as default. Go to the default and then save as default and then okay. So you get something like this. All right. So eventually what you would have are 2 indicators. Let's move this to the top. Nicely move. You have 2 indicators. One will be this one, and then the other will be the TDI. So TDI was, yeah. So you're going to have 2 indicators like that. That is what you want to have. And then once you have these 2 indicators, we will then look at the next strategy very, very soon. You wouldn't be just, yeah, now we are testing these, but I think it's a wonderful strategy. So we'll look at it. That is on the 4-hour too. It's another strategy on the 4-hour. We call it, that's the 4115 strategy. So we would look at this and then we will show you how it works. It's a very beautiful strategy. So that is what I wanted you to know for today. We're going to close and stop the recording. And then once we stop the recording, if you have any questions at all, we can pick it up. Okay.